you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to The Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight on Reality Radio 101, and welcome back to The Songwriter Show. I'm your humble host, Sarantos, a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics since I was a little kid. Words are so important to me, and that's why I love hosting this show for you every single Tuesday evening. I believe that every song is an important story. Tonight, I'm so excited to have on the show Brian Rhea. With deep musical roots that span across many genres, including gospel, R&B, and country, Brian has been honing his craft of music to a wide demographic of people. From churches to street corners, from bars to arenas, Brian has been bringing his brand of music to sinners and saints alike for nearly 2 decades.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show, Brian. How are you?
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Santos.
You're welcome. I like this sinners and saints, man. So do you prefer playing for one or the other?
Oh man, it depends on the gig, I guess.
Yeah.
I prefer playing for people who listen.
And were you a sinner first or a saint first?
I'm still a sinner, man.
All right, cool. All right. What got you started?
Well, man, I grew up in church, and that's kind of where that little play on concept came from, and just grew up singing in church. My grandfather and his siblings were all country music singers and pickers, and I'm from Florida, so I grew up in Florida, and I grew up around a lot of music in the Tampa, Florida area, and just had a lot of influence and push. And it wasn't until I was about 12 or 13 years old where I actually realized I could sing, thanks to a good friend of mine. And then just kind of caught the bug and started singing in church, and it turned into a 30-year career.
That's awesome, man. So tell us about your main instrument.
Well, I mean, a guitar, I get probably, but I mean, I started on the keys, really, playing in church, playing worship music in church and things of that nature. And then trying to pick out some, Brian McKnight songs and Boyz II Men when I was in my teenage years. And but I'd say guitar. That's where I write the most, is on the guitar.
What was the first tune you learned? If you can share that with us.
Oh, gosh. What was that? It's an old gospel song, actually. It's a song called I'll Fly Away.
And tell us a little bit about your family. Anyone in the music biz or anyone inspire you from your family?
Well, my grandfather was an aspiring country singer. He would call himself a bar singer, but him and his siblings were all country singers and pickers, and they played the honky tonks and things of that nature. So he was a huge inspiration to me growing up. Him and he had 10 brothers and sisters, so they were all my aunts and uncles were all musically inclined. And I remember as a kid going to gospel sings with some of them, and then some of them would sing in the bars. So I got a good mix of both.
Did you have like a really fond musical memory, either in your house or your city or neighborhood or something growing up?
Oh man, quite a few. I guess a fond musical memory. That's kind of hard to say because I've been performing music for so long. I don't get a chance to go to concerts as much as I'd like to, but I've had great opportunities to play a lot of cool places. It's probably anytime I had the opportunity to sing in church and be around people like that was always a lot of fun. And then anytime I get to do listening rooms and sing the songs that I've written, and people get an opportunity to listen and react to my music, those are my favorite ones. It's hard for me to kind of go back and pick one out because I've got several.
How do you handle mistakes during a performance?
Pretend like they didn't happen.
I ask this question pretty and the pros, that's exactly what they answer all the time. Yeah. It's so true, man. I remember freaking out, that I'm going to make some mistake, and then sometimes you do, but you're right. The more experience you get, you just power through it. Yeah,
you talk about a musical moment. One comes to mind. It was funny because I was singing in this arena in Tallahassee, Florida in front of 40,000 people, and I was probably 19 years old. And I went to hit this really big note, and I'd hit it all through rehearsal, and man, it just came out sideways. But I took the advice of the director and just pretended like nobody heard it.
Was it like a vocal note or an instrument?
It was a vocal note. I was, I was 19 at the time, so my voice was still in its changing process, And I went to try to hit that note, and I hit it clean all throughout rehearsal. And then when I went out to play, in front of 40,000 people, it decided to crack really bad.
I guess I'm more mature now, but yeah, I definitely remember being younger and that happening. And it doesn't happen as often now.
Me neither. Yeah, I don't take as many risks vocally like that, like I used to. So that's probably
Yes.
why it doesn't happen as much.
That is so true. I remember like up until a few years ago, I still kind of experiment and try different things, but now I think the things I try are more like vocal chain things, like to sound different, but not, I'm not trying to do like
For
five
sure.
octaves in the same
Oh
song
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
Like I would
yeah.
try
No,
stupid shit like that.
yeah, 100%. And I had a great range when I was younger. I sang in quartets, and I was able to learn from some really great vocal coaches over the years. But I've traded range for tone over the years. That's for sure.
I think also what I've realized, and I don't know if this is true for you too, but now it's easier to be in the pocket. In the past, I would tend to rush things, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just part of being young. And now you kind of like actually listen to the music and you're not in a hurry.
Yes.
And at least for me, I notice I'm more in the pocket, or if I'm trying to anticipate or do a syncopation, it's just more natural or easier for me now.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, once you've been doing it for so long, yeah, it's like a good drummer too. You want a good drummer that's in the pocket and that kind of leans back on the beat a little bit, and
Yeah.
that kind of lets the song breathe. That's the same way with the vocalist. That's a great way to describe it.
Tell us about your songwriting process. Lyrics first, music first, drum groove. What do you prefer?
I think all of the above over the years. I've written hundreds and hundreds of songs, and for me personally, I mean, I've written a lot by myself as well, but I've also co-written a lot. And my process is really it's just, I would call it happenstance. It's probably it's random. It depends. Like if when I was writing for a publishing company for all those years, and I had to go into rights with the idea of of what the A&R team was looking for, and the artist was looking for, and the style they were looking for, and the tempo they were looking for. That's one thing. Whenever I write for myself, it's usually just I get an idea, I get inspired by a line or something somebody says. Oftentimes I'll be in conversations. I don't know if you do this or not, if you're a writer or not, but somebody will say something like, "Man, that's a song right there," So oftentimes I'll snatch that up.
I got so many issues with friends and relatives and kids, and people are like, I have a song coming out next month called My Bichacha, which I wrote because my daughter and her friend, and it's like BFFs kind of thing.
Sure.
And here it is a year later, and they're like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not singing it. It's a female, right?"
Right.
And it doesn't matter. People kind of roll their eyes, but my attorney friends are like, I gave you that idea. I deserve royalties. And I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah. There's a saying here in Nashville that says, you add a word, you get a third.
Yeah. Don't say that to my lawyer buddies, man. They literally like, I will be eating, and like you said, someone says something like, they didn't come up with the music, the lyrics, the nothing, but if they think they deserve a third, I'm in trouble.
That's right.
Yeah. So tell us about the song that we're going to hear in a few minutes. What inspired this one?
Man, that was a song. I was writing for a publishing company at the time that actually I'm still with. And they had sent us what they call a pitch sheet. And what that includes is what the A&R team for the label is looking for and what the artist is looking for as far as the song was concerned. And so there was a particular country artist that was looking for a woman's empowerment song. And I was, at the time I was writing with my brother, John, who I've written a ton of songs with, and a good friend, Kimball Davis. And we got to talking, and I said, guys, I don't know if I know how to write a woman's empowerment song. I do know that all the women in my life have all the power. I do know that. But I don't know if I know how to write a woman's empowerment song. And I said, you know what, let's try something a little different this time. I said, instead of writing, a woman's empowerment song or writing about a woman's body, I said, why don't we write about a woman's spirit, about how they impact our lives and how they change our lives and how they make a difference in our world every day. And let's see if we can't just, hit the fat of the bat on this and just kind of really celebrate women in that regard. And so we got to talking about the various women in our lives, like my little grandmother who's been through hell and high water and grew up poor in West Tennessee, and suffered abuse at the hands of a lot of people. But you would never know it because she's like this giant beacon of light everywhere she goes. And started talking about the other people in our lives, like my mom, who was very young when she had me and had an opportunity to abort the pregnancy, but she gave me an opportunity at life. And we just thought about, what kind of strength that takes to be able to do that. And then we started talking about a lady that used to book me. Her name was Amber, and she's, survived brain cancer, and she survived car wrecks, and her husband put her in a coma. And it was just, she's been through through unimaginable difficulty and trauma. And if she were to walk in the room, you'd never know what she'd been through. And I'll never forget. I can't remember if it was John or Kimball. One of them said, "Man, she don't look like what she's been through." And I said, That is the song right there. And so we wrote it in 45 minutes, and I just did a quick demo with it. We pitched it, and as the story goes in Nashville, it got denied by the artist.
Does that ever happen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. And what was crazy, though, is we didn't realize at the time, but I just did a quick demo vocal and piano cover just on my laptop. Or rather, it was on my iPad and with a little interface and a $30 mic that my aunt had bought me on Amazon. I cut that demo on there, and we just produced it just a little bit, nothing great. And after the label denied it, Sony Orchard picked it up, and we put it out, and it just took off from there. And it was just a cool little experience with that song to see. The total equipment that I recorded that thing on was probably $400, but the impact that song has made on women in particular is priceless.
I always love hearing. I think like a lot of people do complex songs, but it's really cool to hear like sometimes some of the simpler songs, or sometimes right? Sometimes we've spent like hundreds of hours on a song, and sometimes one that comes out in one or two takes, and it's more simple and doesn't have a million tracks is the one that hits.
Yeah, and sometimes the profundity is in the simplicity, right?
All right, everybody, check this out. Here we go.
Walking in the room, turning every eye, perfect makeup on, got her hair do right. You would never know, she covers it so well, but the caution in her glance might be the only way to tell. She don't look like what she's been through. You would think that she's alright, but she has a way of hiding all the hell she's had to fight. Well, her smile outshines the darkness, you'd believe her lying eyes. She don't look like what she's been through, but she's been through the fire. She's been through the fire. Freckles on her skin, lines on her face, silver in her hair, but leave her hair in place. If she lets you in, you may see a scar, but she'd never let you know just how deep they are. She don't look like what she's been through. You would think that she's alright, but she has a way of hiding all the hell she's had to fight. Well, her smile outshines the darkness, you'd believe her lying eyes. She don't look like what she's been through, but she's been through the fire, burned down to the ground, but came out like a diamond, shining in the ground. She don't look like what she's been through. You would think that she's alright, but she has a way of hiding all the hell she's had to fight. Well, her smile outshines the darkness, you believe her lying eyes. She don't look like what she's been through, but she's been through the fire. She's been through the fire. She's been through the she don't look like what she's been through. If you only knew what she's been through.
Well, thank you for sharing that song for the listeners tonight. Tell us what fun stuff you got coming up for the fans this year.
Oh man, I'm going to be all kinds of places. We just got done doing a run of shows here, local in the Nashville area. Did that. I'll be heading to South Georgia, doing some shows down there with some dear friends of mine and their clubs down there. I've got a couple festivals back home in Florida I'll be doing. Oh man, there's several shows that that are pending right now, but the biggest thing is I've got an album coming out. We just released the final single 3 days ago, actually. And it's coming out in August, last part of August. I actually haven't got the exact date yet because they're still. I left that up to the people that do all that stuff for me. But it's latter part of August, and I'm pretty excited about this because I actually recorded this whole album several years ago, but due to various constraints and you name it, it got put on hold. So I was super excited to be able to finally release this record with a few new songs added to it. Grady Saxon was the producer on it. Grady's produced people like Jelly Roll and Lainey Wilson and Luke Combs and people like that. And so I'm just super excited to get that released, and we're going to do a big release show on that with that right here in the Nashville area at the end of August.
What advice would you give someone that just moves into Nashville that reminds you of your younger self? That's
a good question. I just recently was asked that on another podcast, and I would say to them, I'd say two things to them. I'd say, number one, protect their dreams. What I mean by that is places like Nashville and New York and Los Angeles obviously are amazing towns, and they are, that's where dreams are born. But also, too, that's all where a lot of dreams go to die as well. And so I would just tell someone, like myself coming into town, to keep those dreams fresh, keep those dreams alive, keep feeding those dreams, and keep them, vibrant in your heart and your soul and the forefront of your mind. And don't allow other people to dictate whether or not those dreams are reality or not. And that's up to you. It's between you and God, actually. And so I would say, keep those dreams alive. But I would also say be mindful and have a bit of a sober mentality about it too, and know that what you're about to embark on, if you're wanting to make a career out of this, is you're going to have to understand. You're going to have some business acumen, and you're going to have to understand the music business in general. And really, you're going to really have to network hard. I know that's I did that for many years. I still do it. I don't do it as hard as I did in the beginning, but especially in the beginning. I mean, I played every writer's round. I went to every show I could go to. I went to every meeting. I went to, all the songwriter events. I did it all. And I was able to connect and meet a lot of wonderful people in that regard, doing that type of thing. So yeah, I just say protect your dreams, but also to know that you're going to have to make sure that you sharpen your business acumen and realize that this is a business as well.
I was going to say, really? But yeah, that's the part I think most artists hate, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like you, right? I just want to create, and
100%.
There is a business side to it. It sucks. I wish it was 20, 30 years ago, but I feel like maybe it wasn't so easy back then because connections, getting in the right hands probably were a lot more important. Mm-hmm. Not that they're not important now, but at least now, if people like your shit, they're going to spread the word on social media.
100%. Yeah.
Or somewhere.
Yeah. You told me in the beginning of this, you said, man, just be you. And that's what I would say to them. Just be you. What will happen is a place like Nashville, if you let it will take you away from you. It will try to make you into something that you're not. And you have to allow yourself to grow and evolve and change, but don't ever not stop being who you are.
Do you have a favorite chord or key that you return to often? And if you do, why?
Yeah, it's usually B flat. It just because it sits either A or B flat, one of the two. It depends on what I'm doing. But specifically on the keys, B flat. But I don't know, just kind of like the fat of the bat for my voice, my vocal tone and my range. I like that. I like how my voice sounds and feels. I sing a lot of those songs, and a lot of my songs are in either A or B flat.
Do you have any pre-performance rituals that you want to admit to on the air?
I mean, I do the stuff, and all the stuff that makes my kids laugh. I try to before I sing, whether it's in the studio or if it's on the stage somewhere. I like Munchos chips and a little small bag of M&Ms, and I don't know why. It just makes my throat feel good, and maybe some throat coat tea. That's usually about it. And I'm a praying guy, so I usually pray before shows.
Yeah, I've tried that throat tea. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think Carrie Cole was the one who recommended it. I read her blog and stuff, but I tried that once. That was pretty cool stuff.
It's fantastic, especially with honey.
All right, tell us your socials, where people can buy your stuff, stream it, anything you want to share to all the listeners.
Yeah, well, if you go to, my website is Brian Paul Ray. That's Ray is spelled RHEA. So BrianPaulRay.com. And then all the socials are going to be Brian Ray Country. So whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of that stuff, it's you can find me on there. And then on Spotify, if you look up Brian Ray on Spotify, on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal, I'm all over those places.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show, dude.
Oh, man.
Great show, and you sound like a cool guy.
So, likewise, my friend. Absolutely, yeah. I appreciate you having me. I really do.
You're welcome. And tell the listeners out there, thank you for spending a little bit of your precious time with the two of us tonight. We hope your unique story also gets heard around the world. And please tune in every single Tuesday evening on Reality Radio 101. We invite you to grow old with us, and we hope you have a great night. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in.
I see you standing over there. Can I come over?
It's really not a complicated situation. Story's been told many times before. Boy meets girl, fixation, flirtation, persuasion, sensation. It happens all the time.
All the time.
The very first moment is perfect. There's a sudden sparkle in the air. It's crazy hard to define or forget. A picture in your mind for life. First 5 seconds, it's like bathing in sunshine. Nothing more magical, charming, supernatural. The first 5 seconds.
Such a please, pretty please.
After the initial anticipation, they both gather their self-control. Start to make some playful conversation. It happens all the time. First 5 seconds, it's like bathing in sunshine. Nothing more magical, charming, supernatural. The first 5 seconds.
Hearts are racing. I'm wondering if the feeling's gonna last. I'm savoring that moment in time. It's a happy, happy ride. My heart's not steady. I'm ready.
First 5 seconds, it's like bathing in sunshine. Nothing more magical, charming, supernatural. The first 5 seconds. Good vibes fill the air as they play the game.
Ooh. Yeah. Can't touch it, please. Pretty please. It's the first 5 seconds. Come on. I don't even know if I'd last 5 seconds with those hips and those lips. Damn those hips. Damn those lips. Ooh.
First 5 seconds, it's like bathing in sunshine. Nothing more magical, charming, supernatural. The first 5 seconds.
Hearts are racing. My heart's racing. Is your heart racing? It's just so
Nothing
that
more magical, charming,
you're so freaking
supernatural.
supernatural.
The first 5
Can't
seconds.
last 5 seconds. Damn, you're hot. Damn, you're hot.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.